4. Hello and welcome to what I believe is the 13th episode of the Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast. As always, I am your host, Scotch on the sidelines, Dalton Van Pelt. And if you check Facebook, magnificent bastard Dalton Van Pelt. All right. As always, with me I have the commish, Zach Stewart. How are you doing tonight, sir? We don't actually know.
Yeah.
Also is the two-time champion, Cody Sackett, joining us for 2 weeks in a row. How about that?
How about that, man? I got to come on after our win, right?
Catch me outside.
Catch me outside.
It helps when you have the highest scoring player of all time through 7 years, 57 and some change. I thought
you never had a 60 burger?
No
one's gotten a 60. I thought Tyler Lockett's 53 was going to hang around for a while, but 57.1 or something like that. I don't know. That is
Sackett, I'm sure you know the exact number.
No.
All right. Well, I'll look it up as we get to that matchup.
amazing game.
It was, yeah.
57.9.
I'm really shocked that he didn't get to that 60. I'll be honest.
That would have been awesome.
And I thought I still blew it.
All right. Yeah, we'll start with the IRL football. We had 2 games on Thursday instead of the 3 that we were promised. Texans take care of business. Commish, why don't you touch a little bit on the status of the Lions?
We are all getting what we hope for. They are firing another Belichick disciple in Matt Patricia and his pencil. He can go pencil push back with Bill Belichick.
They kept the sharpener.
And then they fired the GM, Bob Quinn. So we'll see how that offense kind of shakes out over the back half of the season, see if any of those guys are going to be more relevant. I expect DeAndre Swift to still be pretty relevant. I mean, he was producing real well before he got the concussion, but they've been banged up all year. I mean, you can't really trust anybody, I would per se, I guess, with how crappy tight end is. I mean, Hawkinson's the top 6 tight end every week.
Well, he's honestly been a stud, and they're staying with the Darrell Bevel offense, which means DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson. Start Stafford if, like, your house gets swallowed by an earthquake and 2 of your starting quarterbacks tear their ACL. And then Galladay, whenever he decides to come back, is a must-play every week.
Yeah, that's it's funny with Hawkinson. We had talked earlier, like, he's so good, but they kept him at 4 targets. They might kept him at 6 now, but it's still production. I mean, he's a very good tight end.
Is Galladay even practicing right now? Like, has he been?
Practiced
limited
last week?
Yeah, limited. All right, Washington smacks up Dallas. What a terrible game. I mean, it's just the epitome of Dallas' season. They just can't get their shit together, man.
Turkey Gobbler, Antonio Gibson this year.
36.3, I believe.
36-6, first running back to be the Turkey Gobbler.
Since we started, that is.
Since we started, yeah. I was real excited after Will Fuller caught his second touchdown in the first game. I was like, I might get a 2-for-1 here in the bets. And then Antonio Gibson gets that third touchdown, and there went my extra point. But it's all right. Not too big a deal. I mean, he's coming into his own too. Antonio Gibson looks really good.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the NFC East? Is it going to be Washington, Giants, Dallas, Philly?
Rest of the NFC.
Daniel Jones. They should just absorb the spot.
The number 5 seed. That's who's going to win it.
We just take like a fourth wild card team.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know, Danny Dimes just went down, right?
Yeah, he just got hurt. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's probably going to be Washington because their defense is real.
I mean, and if Danny Dimes isn't too hurt, the Giants' defense is very good too. But I would pick Washington over them.
It's going to be so sad if the Eagles win that. That's such a disgrace on the rest of the division.
Oh, God.
More than it's already been.
I loved Cody's Trump meme about Eagles fans getting
You're fired!
Get him the hell out of here. I guess we'll get to that game, but that game, the way they handled Wentz and Hurts is fucking weird too.
Sack it. Might as well fire it off. What games did you watch on Sunday morning?
Sunday morning, well, I was watching the Patriots Cardinals game.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That ended up being a really good game. Not for Cam and the offense. They were able to run the ball okay, but Cam, 2 interceptions. I think one was a batted ball off somebody's helmet or arm in the first quarter, and then he threw a bad one late in the fourth quarter. And it was a back-and-forth game. Neither offense was really doing anything. The Patriots defense managed to slow down Kyler Murray and the boys. And I think Gilly locked down Hopkins most of the game, and I think he had like 3 catches for 24 yards or something against Gilly. So Stephon Gilmore stepped up, locked down Hopkins. And they had a chance at a 45-yard field goal with about 2 minutes left, and the Cardinals missed it. And the Patriots drove down the field, helped out by a roughing the passer call and a late shot on Cam out of bounds. And
wait, Cam
somehow
Cam got a call for once?
Yeah. Well, he's a good 2 yards out of bounds, and he got lit up.
Had it been 1 yard and out of bounds, he would have been no foul.
Yeah.
And Nick Folk, who I have no faith in, managed to hit a game winner.
He used to be a Cowboy too.
It was a good game. I think the Patriots defense, they're young. Hopefully they can gel together over the next couple of years. And the Damian Harris, he looks really good running the football. I'm hopeful for him. I think Michelle was active, and I don't even think he touched field because Harris has been playing so well.
And we all know Michelle. I know, sadly, that Michelle does not catch the ball. So
neither does Harris.
Yeah, which is weird because he did in college.
Yeah,
so I thought he was going to be used more like that. So I don't know if it's – I mean, when you have James White and Rex Burkhead, there's a reason he was taking a backseat to those guys. But neither Damian Harris, like whoever's running the ball for them, they just don't throw it to that person at all. So Cam, a little bit nervous about him. I think he had like freaking 90 passing yards or some shit, which is crazy in today's NFL. But on the flip side of that, I think the Cardinals are going to regret this one because I think the way the rest of that division's playing out, I think they're going to struggle because they just lost one with the Seahawks and then they dropped one in New England here. I think they're going to – you can see 3 teams coming out of the division, but I think this one's going to sting the Cardinals down the stretch.
Right now, they are cemented into that wild card spot just because they have a 2-game lead on everybody else in the NFC.
Yeah. Well, and then thankfully, the wild cards might not be that bad this year because if COVID keeps staring the way it is, I don't think road games in the playoffs are going to really be that big of a deal.
No. All right. Kamish, what was your Sunday morning game?
So I was in Denver with family. I ended up having just the Red Zone channel on a little bit in the kitchen before we went over to some family. So I watched the Red Zone, but a lot of the game that I saw was how great Tennessee looked offensively. Obviously starts with King Henry ripping off runs, and I kept looking over. I'm like, are they showing highlights from like the first quarter? Nope, it's another touchdown. They just kept grounding and pounding with Henry. The Colts offense I don't quite get. Like they want to run the ball, but it's Phillip Rivers, and when he's on, he's on. When he's not, it's not pretty.
Dude, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, Michael Pittman looks good. I mean, he had 9 targets. I mean, but only 2 catches. He's definitely going to be a playmaker. End of this year,
probably more. Tyreek put up 18.
What?
Tyreek even put up 18.
Ty?
Yeah. Or yeah, not Tyreek. That's what 60 points from Tyreek Hill does to you. That's what you think about.
It smacks you across the face.
But the Titans looked like they were getting back to what they wanted to do and run the ball. They didn't throw the ball a whole bunch. Only receiver that did much was AJ Brown, which is how it normally goes. Jonnu Smith got a goose, no targets, no nothing. Corey Davis, a few catches, but it was all King Henry and AJ Brown in that game. But that's the one I saw most of. Yeah.
I was traveling on Sunday, coming back from Buffalo, Wyoming. I did listen to a lot of stuff on the radio, but when I got back, I did catch some of the Falcons-Raiders game. And I basically said, why am I even watching TV today? Because that one pissed me off.
Yeah, it did not quite. I didn't quite understand how the Raiders they couldn't hold on to the ball in the first place, and then all the Falcons could do like in the first like 2.5 quarters was just kick Younghoe Koo field goals, and
21 points for him.
21 like that was I think that was Patrick's leading scorer against me.
It's insane.
I mean, he's playing great. I mean, great kicker. Sackett also had him in the other league I played him against. We got our person coming in. Here we go.
Oh.
All right. While we're waiting, I'll briefly touch on Giants Bengals. Danny Dimes goes down. Oh, snap. Here comes Heath.
How's it going?
Hey.
Oh, I
Good, how are
guessed
you?
it.
Oh, pretty good.
I didn't think you'd show his face.
Oh, yeah, coming from the only reason you're showing yours is because Tyreek Hill went off.
Oh,
That's
man.
the podcast charm, man. If you would came on last week, it might not have happened.
Yeah, maybe true.
Did you watch any games
You
this
guys
weekend?
know him
Heath?
as- Yeah,
I'm
did you
sorry?
watch any games? Did you watch any games, Heath?
No, unfortunately, I was house hunting, so I didn't get to watch much. I watched the Bronco game for about 2.5 quarters, and that was worthless.
You stuck around more than Vic Fangio did, so that makes sense.
Saw their one completion or whatever they had.
I did. I saw the completion to Noah Fant, and that was good enough, so I shut it off after that.
And
Dude,
don't worry, Taysom Hill only completed 9 passes in that game.
I really want to cut up a montage of all the completions from that game. It'd be about 45 seconds.
All 10.
Yeah, maybe. It was pathetic.
By the way, that bet ended up being a pretty funny bet because the Broncos wide receivers caught a total of 0,
Yeah,
and the Saints had 6.
yeah.
So,
I got really taken to the woodshed on that one.
yeah.
To be fair, when we made that bet, we planned on there at least being a professional quarterback on the Broncos roster.
Yeah.
It's 2020. We got a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end playing quarterback.
Do you guys see that the Broncos petitioned the NFL that they wanted to play their offensive quality control coach at
I
quarterback?
How
messaged you and
ridiculous
asked
is that?
How do we pick that guy up?
He was a UCF quarterback in college.
Yeah. Well, this guy played.
So was Kendall Hinton at Wake Forest for 2 years, but
Oh, so bad.
I can't believe
a lot of people played Kendall Hinton. I mean, obviously Lean played him, but it got him a -2 and some change.
yeah, I played him in a different league, and it helped me. Played against us, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
your
that
team
was-
must have been bad.
Not quite that bad.
All right. Where were we? We were at with Giants, Bengals. Danny Dimes, he gets injured in this one. The Bengals' weapons did not actually look all that bad outside of the running backs. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on Giants, Bengals?
All I saw was that they still peppered T. Higgins just because of the talent. AJ Green's kind of irrelevant. Tyler Boyd's going to be hit and miss, but you're pretty much staying away from the Bengals unless you absolutely need to, I think.
Wayne Gallman.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been coming on strong the last 2 weeks. He looks better than any other backup that they've had.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have that Clemson pedigree, so that kind of helps.
Yeah. Evan Ingram looked good. I mean, another bright spot in the tight end spot, but tight end's just a crapshoot anyway. It's going to be hit and miss. Speaking of which, Luke played 2 tight ends this week, and I was trying to talk him out of it. I'm like, you're crazy. And they both were like top 5 tight ends. When he played both.
Where's that put him against his receivers and running backs?
Exactly.
Yeah. He doesn't have great flex options. But-
Chargers, Bills. This game, I was really hoping this was going to be a shootout. Both defenses came through. Herbert could not get the comeback. Unfortunately, he is going to be in the same paradigm as Phillip Rivers was in for the last 15 years. Down 7, 2 minutes to go, no timeouts, got to march down the field. That's his future.
Yeah, turnovers didn't help him, though.
No.
Austin Eckler was back during that game and looked good, though.
man.
Did he look good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
He
yeah,
looked pretty good catching the ball.
catches.
They're running. I think their running game is going to keep struggling. He didn't do very good on the ground, but he could
No,
running.
catching the ball though, yeah.
Well, that's
Probably has something to do with their offensive line.
I mean, he caught 11 balls or 11 or 12 balls. I mean, he's
Well, that was his role
He
with
caught
Melvin Gordon there too.
nine. It looks like nine catches or so.
9 catches.
Must have been 11 targets.
Yeah, I mean, he's back. He's gonna put up good quality running back one numbers. 16.
And I don't know what his snap count was, but I think they held him down on snap count too because I caught quite a bit of that game, and there was a lot of time in the game when he wasn't even in there.
Yeah, speaking of snap count, I mean, kind of working a running back in was we can jump to this game. Seattle, Chris Carson was worked back in. He only played like 30% of the snaps, but was very effective on all 30% of those. I mean, Carlos Hyde had 15 carries for 22 yards, whereas Carson had like 9 for 40 and the touchdown. So.
The touchdown was a hell of a run too.
Man,
He willed that in. Yep.
I had a similar run. He got it called back because of a holding call, but he would have had a touchdown there in that game too.
Yeah, worked him back in. He'll probably be back to full strength next week. They'll probably give him the lion's share of the carries. Can't give Carlos Hyde 15 carries for 25 yards anymore.
Man, San
They're
Francisco
trying to run the ball.
Speaking of San Francisco, the Rams lose. They also had a bit of a turnover bug, if I remember correctly, watching highlights of this game. 49ers win it on a field goal as time expires.
I think the Niners at 5-6. I think they get a play. They've got 3 or 4 divisional games left too. So if they play strong, they still got a playoff chance here.
Yeah, Nick Mullet, destiny's in your hand.
Is Kittle going to come back? I don't know. I know they got Mostert back, but I didn't really check the stat. I don't know how he played.
Nothing.
No?
Touchdown.
I don't think so. Did he?
Yeah, he had like 10.8 or something.
All right. Maybe I'm not all that educated on the 49ers. I've just kind of given up on them for this season.
The 49ers, they do have to play the rest of their season in Arizona.
Yeah.
Because of California. And the NFL had actually planned on this going back to the schedule making. They never scheduled the 49ers and the Cardinals at home the same weekend.
Because they knew this was going to happen? That's weird.
Well, it's their closest it's the closest stadium, and they were just kind of it's also California, so they were just I want to see how maybe it's just Santa Clara, like that county.
Yeah, it was the county.
Yeah. So I don't know, but we'll see how that works out. There's no fans in the stands anyway, so it doesn't really matter if they're playing. They have to take a flight now, but that's about it.
Vikings, Panthers, Justin.
They're traveling back and forth every time?
They're going to travel back and forth, I think.
They can't practice either. They have to go to Arizona.
Oh, I thought they just couldn't host games.
No, they can't practice either.
Jesus.
Put them in the bubble.
Panthers, Vikings. Justin Jefferson looks like a number 1 wide receiver. All the haters were wrong. Joey Sly, he's got those ginormous biceps, making Ed Hockley proud. He misses a 54-yarder. He has not made a single 50-yarder all year.
Really?
Really.
Interesting.
Yeah. He should do some legs instead of just curls all the time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to talk about Browns, Jaguars?
Austin Hooper caught a touchdown. That's about it.
The only thing I saw from this game was a clip where Baker Mayfield was talking trash to the defensive line pre-snap. The Jaguars did a D-line shift. All of them moved to the right, and he stopped in mid-play, calling a snap, getting ready to call a snap, and he's like, "That's cute, fellas. That's cute." And that was about the only thing I saw from this game.
Robinson has had a strong year for the Jaguars. The Jaguars have been trash, but tell you what, Robinson sure has come on strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's on pace for some sort of rookie record for rushing, ain't he?
I think all
undrafted rookie. Yeah.
might break Alfred Morris's.
Yeah.
I did see one clip where there was 2 slant patterns running towards the end zone. Baker threw at the left guy. completely missed him for the touchdown. They had to kick a field goal.
Well,
That's how
I
they're-
did see that there were like 3 open receivers on that play,
Yeah.
and he missed all of them.
and then he threw off his back foot. I'm like,
It's crazy. The Browns are 8-3 right now. That's one of the most 2020 things I think you could say is the Browns are 8-3.
Man, Kevin Stefanski,
You know, I saw
man.
that on Instagram, and I didn't believe it. I had to go in and look because I just couldn't believe it.
They've been quiet, man. But they're the Steelers. If the Steelers were having a perfect season, man, the Browns would be competing for the division.
Yeah.
yeah, James Robinson. He's probably the free agent pickup of the year.
Yeah.
Across all leagues.
I mean, it's not even close.
Not even close. No.
We talked about it earlier this year. I thought there might be some candidates for that, but no, it's not even close.
He's a top 5 running back. When running back's pretty tough to find a top 24 running back. So trotting him out.
And the Jaguars are tanking at this point. Didn't they just fire their GM or something?
I don't
GM
know.
and coach.
Did
I
they
think
today?
they kept Maroon. I think they kept Maroon.
Yeah,
I think they
just
just
the
fired
GM.
the GM, which is weird.
Yeah,
to
I
get
don't
rid
know.
of one of them.
It's really weird. Like scoreboard, Jacksonville's down 28-3. I guess we'll just hand the ball off to James Robinson. Not even to try to win the game. Just hand the ball off.
Well, they don't have
Hey,
a quarterback who can.
they might be
throw
able
the
to trade
ball.
him down the road for something.
Yeah, trade him.
They'll trade everybody else away. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Chiefs Bucks. The score was a lot closer than the game actually was for those of us who watched it. Patrick Mahomes was slinging all over the place. It's like they got through a quarter and a half and then they turned off the gas 2 times. You got anything to say about that?
I watched this game real close, and the first quarter was electric. Man, Tyreek Hill went off, had 2 touchdowns. I think 5 or 6 catches and 200 yards in one quarter.
What helps? He catches a 75-yard bomb like the second play of the game.
Yeah, no, he went nuts, and some of the throws Mahomes was making to him, especially the one in the third quarter that was over the shoulder. I mean, you just can't guard that. It's a perfect throw, perfect route, perfect hands. When a dude's fast enough to catch a ball in the NFL and then take time to turn around and backflip into the end zone, that's pretty embarrassing. He went to the sideline at one point and he was picking on the Bucks fans that were in the stands. And he was like picking up the phone, faking like he was calling, and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, help is on the way."
That was a Shannon
Help is on the
Sharp.
way.
That's bullshit. You can't do
It
that
was
when you
a-
only win by 3 points. You have to do it when you're up 30. The Broncos won that day by 30 points.
Mr. President, we're
I think
killing
when he
him.
did it, they were up by 2 scores. But no, it was a blowout to start. I think they were up 3 scores, a 17-point lead going into second half, I think. And eventually the Buccaneers were able to chip their way back.
I don't understand what they're doing with the Buccaneers. Like, I think they were doing.
They seem like they forced the deep ball. Like if they would just take their time to run it, Rojo's ran the ball really well, and just let Brady have his underneath reads to start. Like I don't know why you're forcing the deep ball right away. It's like they're trying to spread the ball around so much instead of just playing the open guy.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like they're trying to throw the ball deep. I mean, that's Bruce Arians for you. If you want to throw the ball deep, I mean, you can bring back Jameis Winston. He can throw the ball that far down the field and throw picks.
But I mean, they've been up and down, but there's times where they've looked really good. So I think they just need to start finding their identity and slowing down. I think they're going to get in the wild card spot for sure. But they just need to slow down and start pulling their identity together on what kind of team they want to be. And I mean, these are people that have never played together. They didn't have an off season at all, no preseason. So, I mean, even if it kind of reminds me of when Manning went to the Broncos, honestly. Like that first year, they weren't very good, and that was even with the full off season of practice. And
Well,
second season, they came back in, and that's when they lit it up, and he broke all those records. Was the second year.
Yep.
So, not saying that'll happen with Brady because I think Manning was like 38 at the time, and Brady's 43 already. But
Honestly, I think the Colts and the Bucks are almost in the same place in terms of not being able to figure out what the hell they're trying to do on offense. But the Bucks have a much better roster.
And I think even looking at the quarterbacks, when I watch them play, to me Brady's throwing the ball better than Rivers is.
Yeah, just not past 20 yards.
There's a few guys in the NFL, and I've mentioned this. There's a few guys in the NFL when they throw the ball, I'm like, man, it looks like it hurts. And Phillip Rivers is one of those. It's like
somebody call help. This guy is in pain.
Like,
man.
How are you getting the ball 20 yards down the field? Like,
somebody call his children.
No, Rivers and Newton have like the weirdest ones that look like it hurts every time they throw the ball.
All right, Bears.
Oh, you bring up Newton. When I watch Newton play, the amount of balls that he gets batted down at the line of scrimmage, and he's got the longest release of a quarterback I've ever seen. Like, it looks like he's like winding up to throw a fastball. And it takes so long to bring his fucking arm around that by the time he does, the lineman's like, okay, I know exactly where you're going. He just puts his arms up and bats it down. He's probably had at least 4 picks this year from a batted ball at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Bears, Packers, Trubisky actually plays pretty decent. You like David Montgomery when Trubisky is starting. I will say that.
Yeah.
He actually finds
little more
Allen
checked
Robinson, which he didn't typically do previously. He is more checked down, you are right. But he makes the running game much better.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of that game. The receivers really helped him out. There were a lot of diving catches, it seemed like, when I was watching that game.
It's so bad. I mean, when you get one side of the ball, you have to watch Mitch Trubisky, and the other side, you get to watch Aaron Rodgers. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like
night and day.
Aaron Rodgers could play that game with his eyes closed. He'll know where everybody's at.
MVP.
Wow. Ravens Steelers, the first time we've recorded this podcast, and there's still a game to be played.
Yeah, I'm super pissed about this whole thing. Like,
they're just going to infect your team now.
There's 18 positive cases, and they moved this game back to fucking Wednesday. At this point, why wouldn't you make a week 18?
I just said make them forfeit. This is BS.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. If you're not, I mean, obviously people aren't following the protocols in that building, so why are you going to push it back? What really pisses me off is why wouldn't you push the Bronco game back to at least Monday or Tuesday and give them a shot at a quarterback? I mean, neither organization obviously were following protocol.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I have the practical answer to exactly why they didn't push it back. I mean, it's not the right answer because the right answer was they should have pushed it back a day or two so that the Broncos actually had a fucking quarterback. Wow, there goes the F word. All right. But the real answer why they didn't push it back is because they only had one positive test. There was not an
outbreak.
They had 2 days between negatives. Yep, exactly. That's why they
Yeah,
didn't.
and I've heard that argument, but there are several coaches that
even
have
coming
it too.
as a Patriots fan, when the Patriots dealt with this, was it the Ravens or someone they played in? I think it was week 2. They played the Ravens.
It was the
or something like
Broncos.
that.
And
It was the Broncos again.
Was it? No,
Yes,
Cam. That
it
was
was the Broncos.
Cam missed the game before that, wasn't it?
No, it was the Broncos again.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was,
Steph-
but is that the one they made him fly out on
Yeah.
Monday morning and then play Monday night?
I think
well,
so.
this is the thing. So, as a Steelers fan in this whole situation, it's pretty shitty because they're supposed to play on Thanksgiving, and then they ruled out Ingram and Dobbins, who were both on the COVID list, and with it being delayed all the way to a week later,
Now they're eligible.
play, which is such BS. It's so hard to like swallow. And like from what I heard is how it all started. I guess they had a coach come in with symptoms, and he didn't go home, and that's how it all started. Is a coach showed up with symptoms, and then it all started. Like it's their fault.
Well, I was listening to the fantasy podcast on XM coming home from work today, and apparently today the Ravens had 2 more positives this afternoon. One was a player and one was a coach. I don't know what their names were.
And there's
apparently the player has been practicing the last 2 days, so I think they're going to fly tomorrow, they've already flown, I think, right?
yeah,
They're there.
And I think then tomorrow morning, a lot of players get tested again. I think you're going to see more positives tomorrow morning because you got a guy running around with the team the last 2 days. And even if they don't pop tomorrow on a test, I mean, we went through this at my workplace. It's like, I mean, you literally have to wait 7 to 14 days to test positive sometimes. So who knows what you're going to spread amongst the Steelers this week. And
well,
I know Pittsburgh, if they start popping off next week, you'll want to talk about rivalry.
And this is where I'm also pretty frustrated with. Like, so they've already, like, Pittsburgh, it's been almost a week and a half, 2 weeks since they played. So they're going to play, and then they're going to make Pittsburgh play on a short week on Wednesday, Sunday. But, of course, Baltimore, they're going to give them one extra day, and they're going to let them play – or no, they moved it to Monday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, Monday.
And then it's Wednesday, Tuesday for Baltimore.
Yeah, then why doesn't they just make Baltimore play on Monday? Like,
because Dallas had the short week last week.
but Dallas already played a whole week ago.
Well, I don't know.
So it's just like, and then by them giving till Tuesday, it's going to give Lamar Jackson 1 day.
Who's Pittsburgh play this next week?
Washington.
So who cares?
I mean, that could be a tough game.
Yeah, it's on a short week at Washington.
Depends on how many COVID positives they get, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a whole, like, I don't know. And it's
all right.
It's for fantasy purposes.
And with
Get that terrible towel out, man. Wipe them tears away.
And with that,
I'm not too sad.
we're going to take a quick break and come back to the matchups that mattered from last week.